In the 2020 NBA Finals, we saw Jimmy Butler pull off his own flu game going against LeBron James. And after being regarded as the Heat culture for years, to now resurrecting the Warriors season, we can tell you that Jimmy is not your regular NBA baller. From being the 30th pick in the draft to becoming a 6-time All-Star, he is one of the few self-made superstars in the league. His competitive drive has been compared to Michael Jordan's flu game grit and Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality. So yes, he's a superstar. But what do NBA players and legends like LeBron, Steph, Shaq, and more really think about Jimmy? Let's start with the infamous Timberwolves practice in 2018, which D. Rose not only wrote about in his book, I'll Show You, but has been compared to Michael Jordan's Last Dance.
Things like when you watch like The Last Chance, the Jordan documentary, it was one of those feelings like when I look at that documentary.
One incident that perfectly represents the reputation and mentality of Jimmy Butler is the time he killed the 2018 Timberwolves first team with their B team right before going on an interview. How's that possible? It all started on Wednesday, October 10th. Jimmy showed up to Timberwolves practice. This was his first practice since the trade request. Everyone thought since Jimmy wanted a new contract, he was going to practice, but instead he went for stretches and massages. Coach Tom Thibodeau later announced a scrimmage that day. Initially he chose Teague, D. Rose, Wiggins, Cat, and Jimmy, but Jimmy refused to play with the starters. So he joined a backup squad to play against them. So practice began and Butler locked in on Towns, with whom he had a well-documented feud. On the first play, the starters fed Towns in the post. Butler, undersized at 6'7" against the 7-foot Towns, stole the ball and sparked a fast break score for his squad. The third stringers, fueled by Butler's intensity, went on a 10-0 run, dunking and hitting threes. Butler barely took any shots. Instead, he dominated with steals, blocks, and assists. In the end, Jimmy did his thing.
They ended up winning the game. I think they got a last-second shot to go in.
Jimmy left practice, but not before he trash-talked the entire organization and telling them they couldn't win without him. "I'm me, pay me," were Butler's last words as he ran out of practice that day. Even Butler's attire was a statement in itself. He wore a Timberwolves practice shirt and shorts, but he'd cut out the Minnesota logo, leaving a gaping hole in the chest and shorts. This was a symbolic middle finger to the organization, but that was not the end of Butler's plan. Next thing, he was on ESPN with Rachel Nichols, letting the world know what he just did. This is what Jimmy Butler is all about. He wants to compete and win. He let the entire Timberwolves organization know that he was an important part of the team if they wanted to win, and that their refusal to pay him showed that they weren't serious about winning. We all know how it all went down. Jimmy didn't get his deal and was traded to the Sixers. But that was only the beginning for Jimmy. By 2023, Jimmy was destroying another team, and this time it was the Celtics, and his target was Grant Williams.
Everybody want to know, the hell did you say to Jimmy? You pissed him the f off.
Hey, listen, that's a funny thing that happened. Like, we're playing that game. I think we're about 8. I'm playing well. And Jimmy says, like, hell no, he ain't here.
Yeah.
So I made it 3. I said, hell no, motherfucker, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I say that to him. Barking, you know, because I'm not gonna let. He said, "I'm gonna always respond. Like I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna be that guy. I never talk trash myself, and you know this. Yes. I'm not a trash talker. I'm too nerdy.
Yes.
So like, next thing you know, I said, "Hell, I'm here."
Nigga might say an algorithm or something. That might be his comeback.
So next thing you know, that happens. The next play, Jimmy, hezzy, boom, boom, stop, pivot, and one.
Yes.
And he said, "I'm here too, motherfucker." And so I'm like, we're going back and forth because like me, I'm not backing down. Like that's kind of what we were missing in that series. They were punking us the entire time.
By the end of the game, Jimmy Butler recorded 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and a block in 39 minutes. Miami won 111-105. Butler also outscored Williams 9-2 in the final 6 minutes. Plus, Jimmy shot 85.7% when guarded by Williams that night. It was a beatdown. Jimmy Butler has proven himself in the NBA against all odds, and even without a ring or big stat numbers, both legends and teammates have nothing but respect for his hustle.
He doesn't need to remind anybody who he is and what he's accomplished everywhere he's gone. Just the competitiveness and the presence. You don't have to look at the box score every night. Very similar to Draymond. It's just he's going to be in the right place, make the right plays. If he needs to score, he can. He can play make. He obviously can guard. And we've been great since he's been here for all of those reasons.
Every time we've matched up, no matter what uniform he's had on and I had on, we've always battled it out. So nothing but respect for a guy that brings it every single night.
The way he plays on both sides of the ball defensively as well as offensively, you know, and he can impact the game with his defense, change the game with his defense. You know?
I just respect him so much as being such a unique, world-class, elite competitor. You know, a lot of guys play the game of basketball in this league. He competes to win. That's a different language.
The best performance I ever seen in the playoffs was tonight. LeBron scored 29 out of 30 at Detroit. We were actually at that game.
Including 25 straight.
25 straight and 29 out of 30. That was the best game I've seen in playoff personally until tonight. That was the best performance I've seen since I've been on television. I mean, it was flat out incredible. It was an honor and privilege to watch it. But man, that guy was not gonna let them lose tonight.
That's the thing, when we have Jimmy, it's like, we always feel like we got a chance, that's for sure.
Even the young ones who were with him in Miami always knew they had a chance with him. Tyler Hero definitely felt that.
I leaned on him so much my rookie year. You know, just being able to lean on someone like him who's seen everything, who's been through it all. You know, and then we built such a great relationship. And for being a young guy, for me, it was just in the playoffs, I was, you know, just trying to play for him. And I know he's always been that guy that people talk about as a bad teammate and stuff. But that's like the complete opposite of who he actually is.
The media might make you think this is how Jimmy is with his teammates, but here's his teammates telling how chill he is.
I'm like, what's up, dog? Like, it's it wasn't nothing too major, but it was the social media that like was making Jimmy out to be like cancer, you know, his bad teammate.
You know, Jimmy has this like weird reputation that not everyone's on board, but he's clearly an incredible fighter, teammate, winner. You know, they were like, no, that's our guy.
And I got to know Jimmy, and I got to know what he wanted for himself. And what he wanted was the same thing that I was doing. You know what I mean? He's like, I was like, what do success look like for you? He was like, I said, all right, well, here you go. You know what I mean? And then to his credit, man, obviously he's doing it his own way, but you know, he's taking some of the similar steps that I've done. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Jimmy is so unselfish. He hates the stamp of being like one of those like superstar guys, like because he's so much of a team player that when you put that stamp on guys like, yo, he was a superstar, it's his fault, you know, he got to take that last shot. He doesn't play the game that way. So his whole thing is like, don't put that on me. Like, I'm playing to win. Like, I'm just a tough player.
That's right. Jimmy plays the right way, and since he wants the championship, he always brings that dog in the playoffs.
I like playoff Jimmy Butler too. Feel me?
Oh, that guy's a dog.
He a damn animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he different. You feel me? Like, obviously, LeBron is definitely not. But you know, you feel what I'm saying. Guys that kind of...
Jimmy Butler really encapsulates that.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody like Jimmy Butler. I've never seen a guy play one way in the regular season and then play another way in the playoffs. I've never seen it.
Me neither. Not at the levels he did.
No, yes.
So what kind of player is Jimmy, and what's his impact and legacy? According to Dwyane Wade, who helped bring Jimmy to Miami, Butler's legacy is forged by a rare blend of basketball IQ and unrelenting toughness. While some players lead with their intellect, Jimmy leads with his toughness. And still, his ability to flip a switch and turn into playoff Jimmy defines his impact.
Everyone knows Jimmy's going to turn into a different player, but they can't measure it because the player, you know, is not going to be in that stat book. What he's going to do is not in the stat book. Right? It's like he just brings in a whole nother Jimmy to the playoffs that no one has been studying, that you just have to go back to his playoffs. You know, you got to pull Jimmy's playoff record and use that as Jimmy's stats.
Jimmy Butler go from regular season Jimmy Butler
like
to big face, to big face coffee. I was like, yo, this nigga like found another gear. He do. And it's It's like Rondo.
Yep.
You know how Rondo was?
Yep.
He'd get through the season, then playoffs, he just a
All of a
whole
sudden,
other
he hit a
animal.
whole nother.
That's exactly what it is.
How many players you think we have that's like that in our league? Is it under 10?
Yeah, way under 10.
There's only one Jimmy Butler, and he's ready to bring playoff Jimmy out while on a team with arguably the greatest shooter of all time, all on the same court. Big Shaq thinks everyone should be very afraid.
This is my favorite trade because I know Jimmy was going to be playing with a new type of energy, and he's a two-way player. He can step out, shoot the three, and play on the inside. You know, Chuck mentioned this earlier. He's definitely been going through the free throw line, and he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. What he did in Miami when he played that style of basketball, I think they went to the finals a couple times. So he's back, and if they get the right matchup in the playoffs, I would not want to face Golden State.
What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, then you should watch Playoff Jimmy with Steph Curry is going to be scary next.